Hey everyone, I often talk about my trip to Ireland in 2022 to walk Ireland's National Famine Way to raise money and awareness in the fight against domestic violence. But after my pilgrimage on the Famine Way, I did do a little sightseeing in Ireland, and I thought I would go through some of those pictures. It's March, St. Patrick's Day, so why not look at some of beautiful Ireland? This is going to be a very unique experience because we're going to go over pictures from Derry in Northern Ireland, and this is definitely a checkered past. A lot of the troubles, actually most of the main violence in the troubles taking place in Derry, but now it is a town that's very vibrant. The people are very proud of their heritage, and I have never met nicer people than I did in my couple of days in Derry. So why don't you enjoy looking at some of these pictures from a place that's had a troubled history but is really coming through it. Sometimes when you make it to a new location, there's that one thing that you want to see, and it may even be a little bit dumb. For me, it was the Derry Girls mural. This show that originally aired on the BBC and can be found on Netflix in the United States is one of the best sitcoms of all time. Yes, I love that it's a throwback to the 90s and is based in Ireland, but I think it's pretty relatable for most people. Of course, despite Derry being an overwhelmingly majority Catholic city, it is in one of the 6 counties that was partitioned into Northern Ireland after the War for Independence. That war took place simultaneously with World War I. Statues like this one that pay tribute to those lost during the First World War are essentially there to try and manufacture consent for the government of the United Kingdom. This is obviously a dynamic that will be common for this video. Derry is a city that branches out from an original walled-in city center. You can actually walk on those walls and look down and out over the expanse of the city. My family originates from County Donegal. The border of County Donegal is roughly 2 miles from downtown Derry. I intentionally didn't cross into the county because I would love to make that a special individual trip in the future. That being said, the area is filled with distant relatives of mine, and our family name is prevalent. Just walking through the city, I saw this historical marker for the former home of Elizabeth Lizzie Doherty. While there are a variety of spellings of our name, especially in the United States, it is very possible that Elizabeth was related to me. She died in 1985, but despite her working class upbringing, was a part of the Irish fight for independence and the resistance after partition. I will surely learn more about her, but it's amazing to think of someone who might be a part of my family having such an important role in Irish history. This marker was put up in 2016, just a few weeks before the 100th anniversary of the Easter Rising. As I continued to make my way down the hill towards the more residential parts of the city, I was confronted with many remaining signs of the Troubles. While the Troubles officially ended with the Good Friday Agreement in 1998, it is amazing to see how this city is still scarred by the fighting. The treaty that created the Irish Free State and was later used to create the Republic of Ireland left 6 counties on the island as part of the United Kingdom. Many of the cities impacted, most notably Belfast, were majority Protestant. Derry, however, registered at 78% Catholic as recently as the 2021 census. The city is also heavily segregated, with the river keeping those more sympathetic to the UK away from those more likely to identify with the Republic of Ireland. These Catholic areas of Derry also tie their struggles with marginalized communities around the world. I Can't Breathe is a reference to the death of George Floyd that served as a catalyst for the Black Lives Matter protests in the United States in 2020. Listen, I was a history major, and Irish history has always been a particular focus of mine, but even I was shocked with the atmosphere in Derry. In the scheme of things, 1998 isn't that long ago. I was in high school. Bill Clinton was president in the United States at the time and played a big part in the compromise that put a halt to the violence. This is modern history, and while that agreement did bring an end to the fighting, it isn't going to erase the memories or the trauma. This is one of those reasons that I think travel is so important. It really puts those things into perspective, things that you just can't read in a book. This rock pays tribute to Edward Daly, who would go on to become the Bishop of Derry in 1974, but gained recognition for waving a blood-soaked white handkerchief to protect a group carrying a mortally wounded protester who was killed on the infamous Bloody Sunday of 1972. Bloody Sunday, or the Bogside Massacre, took place on January 30th in 1972 and is commemorated by this memorial. British soldiers fired upon protesters in a civil rights march, shooting 26 and killing 13 immediately. Another protester died later, but his death was said to be caused by his gunshot wound from that day. The lives lost on that day were Jackie Duddy, Michael Kelly, Hugh Gilmore, William Nash, John Young, Michael McDade, Kevin McElhinney, Jim Ray, William McKinney, Jerry McKinney, Jerry Donaghy, Patrick Doherty, Barney McGugan, and John Johnston. Of course, as with Lizzie Doherty, it is very possible that Patrick Doherty shares some relation to me. He was 31 at the time, and the soldier who shot him claimed that he fired at a man holding a pistol. A French journalist produced multiple photos before and after he died, showing that Doherty was unarmed. I moved on to beautiful St. Eugene's Cathedral, which contained the first memorial I have ever seen dedicated to the lives lost early in the COVID-19 pandemic. Going from Florida to Ireland was a culture shock in 2022. After seeing memorials to events I read about in history books in college, and then walking less than a mile to see a memorial to an event that was still very ongoing at the time, was paradigm altering. History is happening every day, and the lives we live now will be the ones being studied by future generations. Eventually, I made my way back to the city center to have a non-alcoholic Guinness and watch a Gaelic football match. In 2020, I started practicing hurling and Gaelic football as a member of Tampa Bay GAA, while we focused more on hurling, and that is where most of my experience in actual matches came. I felt a part of the group because I had a fairly solid understanding of the sport. Most American tourists don't have that type of background in GAA games. I even got to head to the O'Neill's store in Derry that sells GAA gear. This Michael Collins commemorative jersey was too small for me, so I just took a picture. And I did pick up a Donegal GAA backpack to pay tribute to that side of my family. Burger Central was right across the street from my hotel and had some amazing vegetarian options. I had wondered how easy it would be to stick to a vegetarian diet while over in Ireland. To be honest, in the cities it was very easy. In rural Ireland, especially in the early days of my hiking, it was a lot more difficult. While most of the land west of the river is occupied by Catholics, there is a small Protestant enclave on that side as well. You can see from this picture that the streets are painted with the red, white, and blue of the Union Jack to show that this is a Unionist area. This plaque was to commemorate the father and son boxing duo of Jimmy and Billy Spider Kelly, who both won the British and British Empire featherweight championships. Finally, I wanted to share a picture of a gigantic pizza I got at Apache Pizza. This is a chain in Ireland, and they have incredible pizza. After walking across almost an entire country and walking for most of my sightseeing, I felt I earned a big pizza that would serve as multiple meals. When I carried it up to my hotel room, I had to assure the front desk that I wasn't planning on having a party in my room. I hope you enjoyed that look at Derry. I had so much fun visiting the city, and it was such an amazing learning experience. Please do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm putting out videos from the theme parks. I'm putting out videos from road trips and baseball games and hiking. We're trying to do as much as possible to really provide a lot of interesting travel related content. So always make sure you're subscribed, and of course liking and commenting really helps us as well. I'll talk to you soon.